I'm Tiffany Rosenbaum, and I'm the host of At Home Money. I help moms start their own dreams, side hustles, and one way I do that is through sharing successful female-led business stories like the one you're about to hear today. If you want to learn more about working with me or any of the guest speakers, please check out the links in the description. Let's meet today's guest, multiple 2 Comma Club Award winner, Michelle Cunningham. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for being on my podcast today. How are you?
I'm so good. Good to see you, Tiffany. Thanks for having me on.
It is my pleasure. We're going to make this so fun today, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and then we'll just, chat a little bit and, go from there. All right, so just how I know your story because I've been following you for a while. We've talked here and there, but go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about your story, focusing more on like the business that you have today.
Yeah. So essentially, and I always share the beginning part of my story, which was that I grew up incredibly shy, humble beginnings. My mom was a single mom and we had no money. And so it's an important part of the story just because I was so driven as like a 6-year-old when my parents divorced to like make money to be normal and just like fit in, because we had so little growing up. So much of my life was spent being really poor, like probably 0 to like 22. But I learned how to make my own money. Like at 15, I was selling magazines and lawn mowing and doing all that crazy stuff. And then paid my way through college while working at Applebee's. So that became my start. And I read a book around that time called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My friend,
book.
Such a good book, right? But my friend told me to read that book and I was like, okay, I'm going to read it. And I don't know that I read the whole thing, but I think the key thing I got was there's 3 types of way to make good money, which I wanted to make good money. And at the time I was working as a pharmaceutical sales rep right out of college. But the book said you can make money one of 3 ways. You can invest in real estate. I'm like, well, I don't have money for that, silly. And then it was, you can start a small business. I'm like, well, I don't have money for that, silly. Or you can get involved in network marketing. And I was like, okay. There's a low startup cost. I'm like, good, I'll do that one. So that's what I did is I ended up signing up for a beauty company. My coworker's wife was with one of those companies. And she kind of showed me the ropes. In the first 6 years, I really kind of failed, didn't know what I was doing. But then at 29, I was like, you know what? I really want to make this work. And so I literally figured it out. I found a mentor that showed me the ropes. And within 6 months, I went from not really making anything with that network marketing company to replacing my income and driving a free car and recruiting about 50 people, and I had about 300 new customers in like a 6-month period. So I went from kind of like not doing anything with it for 6 years while I stayed in my corporate job to then like finally making it work. And as I was making it work, what started to happen was people started to message me from my company, from other companies. Hey, how are you doing that? Like, we heard that you like skyrocketed so fast. I'm like, no, it wasn't really that hard. I just like did these 2 things every day and like it just worked. Right. And so, but I started to get a lot of messages, like 100 a day. And I said to my mentor, I'm like, what do I do? She's like, you should make videos. I'm like, videos? I'm like, oh gosh, that's scary. Okay, I could. I guess I could make videos. So I started a YouTube channel making videos to help the people, just to be like, hey, okay, I just want to tell you what I did because I can't tell you in like one sentence. And like 100 people asked me today and I like feel kind of stressed because I want to give you the right answers, but it's like going to take me too long, right? So I started making a YouTube channel and I started sharing. And that channel just existed for the next 8 years, just continued on. It still exists today. But that channel, all I did was share, one video per week, right? That was my goal. I'm going to share one video per week and I'm going to help people in the network marketing space is how it started. And that was, I was 20, I was 30, I'm 45 now. So 15 years ago, right? So I started this channel and it just goes on for the next few years. But what starts to happen is people start to find me from those videos and they're like, hey, I like you. I've been following you for like 4 months. Can I join your team? And I was like, whoa, that's so crazy. Right. And so I actually got some business. People started to buy from me and they started to join my team, which helped me to become pretty successful in that company. But one of the key things that changed my life forever that brings you to the business I have today is with those videos, I got a call from a CEO of a company and he's like, hi, I'm a network marketing CEO. Our sales reps love you and we want to fly you out and have you come speak at our event. What can we pay you? And I was like, whoa, that's so crazy. I'm just like a regular person. I didn't say that to him, but I thought it in my brain, And so he was like, yeah, we'd love to fly you out. So they sent me a check, which was like more than I'd ever made in a day. And they flew me out and I went and spoke in Utah at this event. And one of the key things before I hung up the phone with that guy, this is a sentence that changed my life forever, is he said, oh yeah, bring along your training program. You can sell it at the event. And in the moment of just being like nervous and like stupid, I say, absolutely. And I hang up the phone. And then I'm like, absolutely, you just lost your mind, Michelle. You don't have a training program. I'm like, but I could make one. I could make one. And so I did. I made these little CDs. That was my first product that I made in 2007. The little CD. I had just gotten headshots done because I was like, one day I'm going to be someone. I don't know who, but I'm going to be someone, right? So I got these little photos done of myself. And I put them on here, right? I was glad I had them because I was able to stick them on there. So I always say, rule number one, get good headshots so that when this moment happens, you can just stick them on things and you look cool, right? So I created these. I brought them to the event and I sold 100. I bought them for $1, sold them for $17, and I made $1,700 extra dollars. So it was like my most profitable weekend ever. And I was like, whoa, that was so cool. And I came home and I'm like, I like these. I want to sell more of them. They're awesome. And so I put them on a website. Websites are dead. I learned from Russell Brunson. Websites don't sell anything. What funnels do? I'm like, I need a sales funnel. So I learned how to create my own sales funnel. And I put the CDs on it. And I was selling like $34 a month. Like I'd sell like 2 sets. Like you could buy this one, and then you get 2 more for 17. So it was 34. So I'd sell 34, sometimes $64 a month. And I did that for like 2 years. Like I didn't really know how to get more people to see it. Right. And so, but I was stoked about that because I was like, yay, I make $34 a month in free money from strangers on the internet. I knew I was onto something, but I didn't know how to grow it. And then I read a book that changed my life. It was Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. And when I read that, he was like, there's 3 types of traffic. I'm like, okay. He's like, traffic you earn is your social media followers. I'm like, okay, I have some of those. Traffic you own is your email list. I'm like, yeah, I got 12,000 of those. I don't know what I'm doing though. And then there's traffic you buy. And I'm like, what do you mean? You buy people? What is this? Is weird. And he's like, you can run paid ads. And I'm like, oh, I should try that because I haven't tried that. So I started in January of 2019. I ran my first ad to these. And I spent $50. He said, if you can spend $1 and turn it into $2, what's your budget? And I'm like, I feel like 1 becomes 2, a million becomes 2 million. Wait, 10 million becomes 20 million. There is no budget, right?
Right.
So that just like made sense to me. So I'm like, all right. So I spent $50 that day and I made 300. I'm like, whoa, I did 6 times the amount. I was so excited. And the next day it kind of went down. The third day I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. This Facebook ad manager thing is really confusing. And I ended up hiring someone in January 2019. And I said, listen, I don't know if this will work, but it seems to sort of work, but I'm kind of dumb and I don't know how to do this. Could you run these for me? I just dumb it ads. It's a lot in there. He goes, yeah, right? Yeah, it's like so complicated. So I hired him and he started to run the ads. And I said, as long as you make money and you pay for yourself and you make us profit, then you're hired next month. Got it? He's like, got it. And so he did. He ended up spending ads, and it's not like he even had the money. The money would come in from the ads. So he would spend, we'd make 300. 300 comes 600. 600, it kept going up. So by the end of the month, he had spent 25,000 and it turned into 50,000. Nice. So I paid him a little bit of a fee and I was left over with an extra $20,000 of profit that month, which again, I was like, well, that's the biggest month ever. That's so good. Yay. I love this. That was so easy. Do that again next month. And so we did. And we continued that throughout that year. Just with this offer, plus I ended up launching a few other offers. I hired an agency to kind of help me. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I have 12,000 people on my email list and I want to help them, but I don't know what to do. He's like, you need other products. So I came up with other products that year and we did just shy of $1 million in revenue. I earned this award right here. It says $1 million in sales that year of 2019, which I was like, yay, I did it. So that's how it started, right? And today, now the business just has continued to grow and grow and grow. And I've gotten this award, which says over $10 million in sales. But I literally am a digital course creator. I've now written a book. My second book comes out soon. But I have lots of different digital courses. And I've switched over from just helping network marketers now to helping all entrepreneurs who want to take their knowledge and get it out into the world. And so I worked with a lot of functional medicine doctors, Etsy shop owners, lawyers, you name it, fitness experts, health coaches, anybody who is a coach of some sort and wants to get their expertise out into the world. I show them how to make videos, how to get that message out, and how to do it so you make a passive income. It's an income that runs on autopilot. While I'm talking to you, it's just incoming. Like it's always income coming in when I'm just doing whatever I'm doing. All run and powered by a little bit of social media, a little bit of an email list, big part of the email list, and then running ads. And I do all of those, and collectively it produces a lot of revenue, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the story.
I love it. I've been following you since you had that first initial YouTube channel. And like I said, I really love the words behind you. So tell the audience, if you would, do you have a family? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I just was seeing on my phone. That's my little family. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, so cute.
So that's my daughter and my son and my husband. My son is now 13. They're a little bit younger in that photo, but He's 13. My daughter's 10. And my husband works from home and I work from home. So he's in the front of the house. I'm in the sunroom of the house. Converted this into my office. And so, yeah, so it's great. You know, we have total freedom to kind of do and be where we want to be, but the kids are obviously in school, so we
Yeah.
stay put here. But my digital course business allowed me to buy a little second house in Florida, which is like the craziest. I never, you know, this poor girl from humble beginnings never thought I'd ever be able to afford that. But I bought a little 3-bedroom, 3-bath down there in Florida, and so we're going down there next week just for a few days to just like warm up and be in the sun. And so, so we get to do fun little trips like that, like travel and it's just fun. We have a good time.
That is so fun. Does your husband help you or does he do something completely different?
Completely different. Yeah, he sells computer software, so he does not.
Oh.
He doesn't really know what I do. You know, he's just like, whatever you're doing, good job. It's working really good. I'm like, thanks.
My husband's the same way. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. How are we making money? I don't know. So, yeah.
Well, what were some tips? Because you've been, you know, doing and hustling your business for years now. What were some things that you did when your kids were younger that, you know, kind of helped you balance things?
Yeah. So I am a really big delegator. I learned very early on, like, gosh, I can't get stuff done because I have little kids, right? And I was like, gosh, if I could only, you know, my kids will say, Mommy's always saying, Mommy always says, like, I'm just trying to get work done. I'm just trying to, like, that's my biggest struggle is like, I just
Yeah.
want to work a little bit, but I have to manage the house and the kids and like groceries and everything, right? I manage the entire everything. God bless my husband, but that's not his, you know, he doesn't see this stuff, right? And I'm like, I got it, right? But I'm like, okay, I'm going to lose my mind if I try to get it all myself. And so I learned very early on, okay, cool. Like if I could just make a little money doing this, then I can take some of that money and I can bless someone's life with it and have them do the work. And they need the $25 an hour or the $30 an hour to do the work. And they're thrilled to make the money. And it gives them a sense of joy. And so I have found people over the years that help me just do stuff that I can tell someone to do. Like, can you stuff these envelopes for me? Can you do this very repetitive motion thing that's wasting a lot of my time right now? Like, ship these things out. The dishes in the sink, the crumbs on the floor, the laundry upstairs. So I've been a really big delegator. And I even did it in the beginning when I didn't have a whole lot of money. Like, when I was just beginning with my network marketing business, I was kind of in debt because I just bought inventory and I'm like, I got to make this work. I didn't have a ton of money, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold one appointment. At that appointment, I made $200. I had $100 left over. From that $100, I took 40 and I'm like, I could hire a girl for 2 hours this week. So I took 40, I gave it to her. This was in Ohio, so it was a little bit cheaper back then. But I gave her $40 and she came for 2 hours. While she was there, I booked more appointments to make more money, right? Hosted appointments, and that generated like $400, right? And then I took some of that. So, and then slowly it became where she was coming like, I don't know, like 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week this is when the kids were young, from like 10 to 3. And so it gave me 5 hours to just like focus and not have to worry about the house. And so she just kind of became me, you know, and me does everything. Me does not sit on the couch and like eat bonbons. Me is like vacuuming and like playing with the kids and like making food and then doing laundry and like doing all the things. So I'm a big delegator, and that's been a huge part of, you know, I just, whenever I'm doing something, I just say to myself, is what I'm doing right now taking me closer to my goal or bringing me joy? Right? Because sometimes you do, like sometimes I love to go to the grocery store, you know, it is a waste of time, sure, but it's like fun. I like to walk through the grocery store and pick things, you know, so to me that brings me joy, right? It's not bringing me closer to my goal, but it brings me joy. So that's kind of the two things. And then I just look at who could I hire? Who could I bless with this money to help me do it? And so I don't try to do everything myself. That was the hugest thing. That was the hugest part of my success when the kids were younger. Now it's a little easier because they're in school, right? So I have from 11 to 3 every day. I just crank. Like I work 4 hours a day as fast as I can to get as much done. And it's very effective.
That's awesome. And I love the viewpoint of who can I bless today, because I've never really looked at it like that, but that's definitely a nice way to look at it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. There was one little girl that babysat for me. And at the end of that year, it was around Christmas, she said, I just want to tell you, like, she was leaving my house. She looked at me. She goes, I want to tell you, like, thanks for hiring me, because I was able to like use the money to actually buy Christmas gifts for my family this year. And I'm so excited about that. And so I never been able to do that. So thank you. And I was just like, wow, like just on a small scale, like that's so cool. And now there's people on my team. They're like, thanks for hiring me, because we just bought a house because of you, you know, thanks for hiring me. I just paid all cash for my daughter's wedding. Like these are real people on my team that have said that. And so they went from just like a high schooler buying Christmas gifts to like, wow, I pay people some big money now. And it's so crazy. So I think that's our duty as entrepreneurs, is to make as much money as possible so we can bless as many people as possible.
Yeah, I do look at it like that way too. So you mentioned your team. How many people do you have working for you now?
So I have like a very part-time team. So most people have like full-time teams. Mine is like, I have like probably 15 people, but they all do different roles. Like I have a customer service lady, I have a graphic designer, I have a funnel guy that handles all my technical stuff. I have a project manager that makes sure I do stuff that I can forget stuff. I'm like, can you just remind me to do this stupid thing? Like so many stupid things in business you have to do. And then I have an onboarding coach for my elite students. I have coaches, 5 coaches for my students that are in my elite program. And then I have 6 sales reps that take phone calls for me. And so they determine who would be a good fit for some of my higher level programs. So it's 16 people altogether when I do that, adding up on that. I hope I didn't forget anyone. Yeah.
How did you find the coaches that was it hard to give up a little bit of control over, your baby that you created?
Yeah, well, when I first sold stuff, I just sold like this stuff. And when you sell low ticket stuff, you can just sell it on a website. You don't need a salesperson. When you get over $2,000, people are less quick to part ways with that money, and they like to talk to someone. Just think about like you go to the dentist and you want to get a whole root canal thing done, or like a very expensive job. Like usually talk to someone. They give you the whole plan. They talk it through with you, what it's going to look like. So when you're selling high ticket online, it's kind of the same thing. They need to just make sure it's going to be a good fit for them. And so I was like, okay, I want to do that. I'm like, I don't have time to take those calls. So who could I find? And it turns out there's a whole host of people out there that are literally high ticket coaches. That's what they do for a living. And I remember they came on, and we were in the middle of a launch. I had 10,000 people that were part of this launch that I was doing.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was 10,000 people came in, and I was like, at the end, I was just going to sell a normal $2,000 thing I normally did. And I'm like, let's try to raise the price and make it like a better program, like make it longer and give them better support, which is what the program that it is now. Now it's a year-long coaching program where we have a rule that no one's allowed to get stuck, and we teach you how to build your brand and monetize it. But literally, the people were coming on to these. So I had 10,000 people, and so I hired a sales team, and I'm like, are you going to know what to say? I was like, let me just tell you about who I am, like what I'm all about. I don't want you to sell to people. I just want you to be nice and be their friend. If it's a good fit, then sell it to them. Like I was very I was nervous because I didn't want them just to sell to anyone. Like that makes me crazy. And so I gave them, 20 minutes of information. And I remember feeling like, gosh, they don't know me enough. This is weird. And it was so crazy because they're trained to handle human emotion. And they're trained to help people think about, what their future life could look like. And so these people got on the phone, and that month they closed 150 people into my high ticket program. And I was like, whoa, that was so crazy. So yeah, we had it set up where people would call in. They would have a call with a setter on my team, like a strategy call, to figure out if what they're working on, how they're stuck, if maybe we could help. If we can help, then they get a call with a director on my team. A director is AKA a closer, and the closer takes the call and closes the deal if it makes sense for that person. So I didn't know anything about sales teams, but I learned about this, and I realized that sales reps don't cost you money. They make you money because you only pay them commission, 100% commission. Yeah. So it wasn't that risky. I would get nervous if oh gosh, you got to have them on payroll and pay. No, it's 100% based on what they bring in. And so it's been such a blessing because literally while I'm talking to you, they are taking phone calls right now, right? That never stops as long as I'm driving traffic in, right? And that's running a lot of ads.
And do they work from home, or are they in different states?
Yeah, nobody's local here. So part of me is like, it'd be so fun to have a little buddy here. We could go film videos together, but no one's local. So everyone's everywhere. But I host in-person retreats, and they come sometimes as helpers. So I've gotten to hang out, but some of them I've never met in real life, which is funny. Yeah.
That's awesome though.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What is your favorite program that you have or thing that you do? Because I know you have your books and your retreats and your lower ticket items.
Yeah. So I would say, I love a lot of my programs. I'd say the prettiest one that's kind of the coolest where I see really great results. For people that want to create digital courses, I'm trying to see if I have it. I do have it right here. This is so pretty. It's called Course Creator Blueprint, and it teaches you my entire formula for creating a digital course and launching it. And in here, there's pictures of how to use AI to pull the whole thing together. So there's we teach how to make logos using AI, how to come up with the name, how to put the whole outline together, and then how to create your workbook using Canva. So it's super detailed. We have a rule with everything we create. We always over deliver. So our workbooks they're ridiculous. They're really cool, picture books that teach you exactly how to do all this stuff. So This one is awesome, though. This teaches people how to create an awesome digital course. And that's thecourseblueprint.com is that website. But yeah, that one it's fun to see people come out of that and they have a course created and they're like, I want to sell this, which is so cool.
Do they get like video workthroughs or just the workbook?
Yeah, workbook plus video. So I go through the workbook in my video. So I'm just like, okay, this is your next step. You're going to do this. Let me show you this. So it's very, very detailed.
That's awesome. So when you were getting started, was there anything that, almost held you back or, almost, I don't know, stopped you in your tracks?
Yeah, I think I'm one of those people that can be like, this isn't going to work. What if people think I'm weird, right? And then I'm like, what if they do? Who cares, right? And I think I don't know that it was Mel Robbins back then that I listened to, but it was kind of this idea that like, what other people think about you is none of your business. I remember hearing that and being like, I like that. That's good for me because I do care so much, right? And so that became a really big one for me. And the other one that I really always say in my head is, Mel Robbins always says, we always say, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't work out? And she's like, what if everything works out? That's what she says. What if it does work out? And so much of my journey has been that. Like I remember opening a princess birthday party studio right before COVID.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like so cute. I had this lease on this place I was using. So I turned it into a princess studio and it was so fun. Like all these little princesses would come in and little kids would come in and I love little kids. Like I literally need to open another one here in North Carolina because we moved. So I don't have it anymore, but it was so fun. But the kids were so adorable. But what was interesting is I remember during that time, someone saying to me, what if it doesn't work? And I just remember looking at them and being like, I actually never thought of that. Like, I really never had thought of that. I'm like, well, then you would just close the doors and sell the stuff. Like, what? I mean, I don't know. But that I never thought of that. That wasn't part of the plan. So I truly believe if you take the energy that this is going to work, I'm going to make this work. We're going to make it happen no matter what. Yeah. You will move in that direction. Like I really believe we can manifest that. And so when you almost have to be a lunatic where you're like, this is going to work. Even when things are blowing up and you're like, this isn't going to work. It's not working. It feels like it's not working. I'm like, it's going to work. It's going to work. And it always works out. Right. And so you may have to tweak some things along the way, but yeah, that self-talk is so important that it will work out.
That's awesome. Let's talk about books for a minute. So I know you have a kind of a crazy unique story about how you wrote your first book. So tell the rest of the world how you came about writing your book.
Yeah. So I heard from someone that you could become an international best-selling author if you wrote a book. And it had to be 25,000 words. And I'm like, okay, all right, got it. I'm like, how do you write it? They're like, in a Google Doc. I'm like, got it. Okay, I'll do that. So I opened up a Google Doc one night and I'm like, I'm going to write a book. I'm like, let's just see how long it takes to write 1,000 words. And so while my kids were running around, I was just like, I just started typing. And in about an hour, I had 1,000 words done. And I was like, I only need 25 hours to finish this book, like 24. I already did the first. And I was like, wait, okay. So like I get up from my computer. It's like 7 p.m. on like a Thursday night or I think it was a Friday night. My husband's like watching sports. I went into the kitchen and I was like, I have a crazy idea. He's like,
but he hears that a lot.
Oh, all the time. So he's like, okay, what is this one? And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to write a book. He's like, you are going to write a book? Like, do you even know how to do that? I'm like, not really, but I can figure anything out because I'm smart. I always say that to him. I can figure anything out because I'm smart. Or I'll just go for it. I don't even know how smart I am. I just go for it. So anyway, so I was like, I heard that it's 25,000 words to write a book. I already wrote 1,000 and now I just need 25 more hours. Well, actually 24. And I was thinking I could write this book for the rest of the year and it could take forever and I'd be really stressed. Or I could just go away right now to the Hyatt place down the road and I could write it for 2 days and then come back and then the book would be done and then you'd never hear about it again. He's like, okay, yeah, that's a good one. Let's do that. I'm like, okay, could I go? And he's like, tonight? I'm like, sure. Okay. Yeah. So I went and I packed I had like my son's camo backpack because I was like, we were in between homes at that point. So it was so random. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment. We had like none of our stuff. So I took a little camo backpack. I shoved like a banana and like a water in it and like my computer and a power cord. And I'm like, okay, I'm off. And so I literally I stopped at Trader Joe's. Like we lived right above Trader Joe's. So I walked down, grabbed some food. And then I went to the Hyatt place and I wrote my book in 2 days. And so it literally does take 25 hours to write a book. What doesn't take 25 hours is the aftermath of like sending it to the editor and checking and blah, blah. That part's really annoying. But I wrote a book and then I became an author. And then I sold it on Amazon and people actually bought it and then they actually liked it. And my biggest fear was like, what if they don't like it? What if I'm too dumb? Because I only know small words. I speak in a fifth grade language. I don't know the biggest words ever, but I just know that what I do works. And so my first book was called Do It Anyway, Girl. It was a book for network marketers. That was the book that came out. And so I was like, okay, if it doesn't work out, I'll just take it off of Amazon. And only whoever read it will say it was bad, and that's fine. And luckily, I put it on Amazon and people loved it and it got amazing reviews. And then I built a funnel out of it. And so it's made a bunch of money, like almost $100,000 on Amazon just alone.
Wow.
And then it makes money from my free plus shipping book funnel. It's made over $1 million in that book funnel, which if I applied for another one of these awards, I would get it for that book funnel.
I was just going to ask you, how many would you actually have if you...
Yeah, because you can get 1 million. Yeah, you get one of these for every funnel that you have. So I probably could have like 16 of these. I mean, something crazy, right? Because like this is from one funnel. But yeah, that would just, where would I put them all? They would be everywhere. So yeah, so fun.
In your multiple houses.
You're right. Down in Florida, we could just have them everywhere.
Right?
Be awesome.
How did you, like at first, did you just put it on Amazon or did you like market it? Did you send people to Amazon or did you just tell people or did people find it on their own?
Yeah, no, Amazon first. At that time, I probably had, I don't know how many people on my email list, but maybe 30 or 40,000. And so I just sent an email out. And I uploaded it incorrectly to Amazon and I accidentally released it by accident. Like it wasn't supposed to go out. Like everyone has a launch date of their book. I'm like, why don't we just put it out when it's ready, But I was trying to follow the rules and I like hit a button and it just went live. And then I was like, whoops, it's live. And someone's like, I just bought your book. I'm like, how? You can't buy my, what? And so then I'm like, it's fine. Today's the launch day. So then I sent an email out to my audience. I'm like, it's supposed to launch in 2 weeks, but I messed up and I did it wrong. And so now you can buy it right now. So go get it. And so everyone rushed and grabbed it and it became an international bestseller in a bunch of different categories. So I have like a little screenshot of like, ooh, it was a bestseller. So,
Aww.
which is so
Did
crazy.
Did they give you an award for that?
Well, you don't get like a physical award. I was like, what do we get? And people are like, just take a screenshot. I'm like, that's all we're doing. Holy cow. This is like, yeah, so boring. So I took a screenshot of like, I was a best-selling author in this particular category of like network marketing.
Oh, but it's like an Amazon one, right?
It's Amazon,
It's not like New York Times bestseller.
No,
I think that's the one that's
the biggest deal ever. Yeah, New York Times bestseller or Wall Street Journal, which you can do, but I followed a lot of people that have done that and they don't make a lot of money. And I'm like, well, it doesn't seem, I would like to make money while doing it, So
yeah,
so sure. It just depends on the person, but it also would be pretty cool to hit that. But I just self-published, so I don't think it has a chance.
You never know.
You never know.
You've done a lot of crazy things so
You're
far
right.
that you didn't think would go well.
Right? Yeah.
So you're writing a second one. Is that
it's done.
When do you have a release date for that one?
Yeah, I can't say I have an exact date because we keep changing it, but it's called You Are a $1 Million Brand. And my idol and my mentor, Russell Brunson, who is the founder of ClickFunnels, wrote the foreword for it, which I'm like, whoa, I can't even believe that happened. It's so cool. So I have his foreword ready and we just have to finish a few edits and that book will be out. So I'm super excited about it.
I remember seeing your posts on Facebook and the groups trying to get Russell's attention for that.
Yes.
I kind of actually do have a crazy question, unrelated to the interview. You have inspired me to like want to write my own book.
Yes.
And I have started it, like your process of like the whole, 1,000 in a day or whatever. Like I was like working on that, thinking about that when I started my book. It's not done anywhere yet, but I thought it would be kind of crazy whenever I do release it for you to write the foreword.
I would love to.
You?
I would.
Okay,
I would 100%.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah, 100%. People ask me a lot, which is so fun because like it's just like this is one of my students. But like, I don't know if I'm on this one, but I just got another book in the mail and like I forgot I wrote, I'm written in the middle. So when you write a book, then people ask you to be in their book and you're like, that's so nice. So like, there's kind of like this whole like author thing where everyone like connects and like writes each other's stuff. So
I have no idea how the publishing has to go and all of that. So I don't even know how I'm going to learn that. But I'm like you, I'll learn it myself if I have to.
And I could just give you the right people to get connected, right? Like it's not all that hard. I do say the formatting piece, I hired that out just to make it look like a book. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So like I hired there's book formatters. And then I got my cover designed on 99 Designs. I started a competition, just the lowest price one, like $200 or $300. And I had people compete to make me a really good cover. So I think it covers everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me, how has networking like had a role in your business and your success?
Yeah. So I am on like podcasts like this. That's a great example of like
Yeah.
networking, right? Where you just like build a friendship with someone, or like
Hmm.
I'll sometimes go to events, right? Just to get to meet some people that I follow online and they're there. I'm like,
Yeah.
I love you. It's nice to meet you, right? But you meet like your little buddies, right? So I have like my online friends that like to meet them in person is really fun. And I also host my own in-person retreats now. So I rent oceanfront mansions and I've hosted 15 so far. But I get to meet all the people that are in my audience that come to the event. That's a massive networking event where those people are all collaborating, running businesses together, helping one another. Like that's magical. So the more that you can get yourself, they always say there comes a point in your business where to get to the next level, you need to get on an airplane to get to the next
Hmm.
level. And it's kind of true. Like in my neighborhood, there's a few people that do what I do, but it's a little bit different, right? So it's fun to get on an airplane and connect with people or go to like the ClickFunnels event is one I go to every year. When he was hosting it, he doesn't have it anymore, but I love
Yeah.
that event, like such a cool event. And I met some really great people that I'm still in contact with from that event. So, but I'm also one of those people that like, I don't want to be on the road 24/7. So I might do 4 events a year, right? But I love to be just a mom. Like I love to be home with my kids. So I see people that are like, I took 250 flights this year. I'm like, I would miss my kids. I can't do that. So like
Right.
for me, it's like I pick and choose what I go to and I turn down a lot of stuff where I'm like, I kind of want to be home with my kiddos. So
Yeah.
especially while they're young, I feel like we have such limited time with our kids.
We
So
do.
yeah.
Do you do any more like speaking gigs like the first one you did when the guy asked you to come and bring your training?
Yeah, so I get invited sometimes. Sometimes they're paid ones and sometimes they're just free. But for me, like I make so much money staying home for 2 days and creating a new course that sometimes getting on an airplane to go speak for a small fee or for free, I just lose money. And sometimes I'll do
Yeah.
it because it's fun. Like I enjoy it. You know what I mean? But your time is money, right? And when you realize, oh wait, if I took that hour and I create a whole new course, like could have made a lot of revenue. And so I pick and choose what I say yes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome though. I think that's the ultimate goal to be able to do that, for
Yeah.
anybody who's in this industry.
Yeah.
What was the proudest moment in your business?
Well, I would probably say, I mean, if we're talking about like a monetary goal, I remember being at Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels event, and I remember standing in the back and watching people walk across stage picking this award up, and I was like, "Holy cow! Like these people sold $1 million. Like, how could you ever sell $1 million of anything?" Like, I was just like I was standing in the back of the room. I was talking to Fraser Brooks. He had sold like $4 million. I'm like, "Wow, you're so cool." Like, I'm not there yet, but I feel like I could get there one day. And so I remember getting that award. And then it just started to snowball, right? And then I got the $10 million award. But the $10 million award, I remember standing in line to go across stage and I got to shake Russell Brunson's hand and Todd Dickerson. And I just like stood there and I was like, whoa, right? And like, I just remember being like, I was so like I thought it was impossible to get that. I just thought it was so impossible. So when I was standing up there, I'm like, wow, it is like so possible. And like I speak in a fifth grade language, and like, come on, I'm just kind of a really regular girl. Like I'm not super fancy. I don't really care about that stuff. Like the most regular person ever got it, and so I think that's what's so cool is like whoever you are, you can be anybody, and you can earn this once you learn the marketing, once you learn exactly how to do it. So yeah, that was a cool moment. I accidentally squeezed Russell Brunson really like this because I was so excited to see him. And then he talks about that in my forward about Michelle, like, like he didn't say assaulted, but like Michelle really squeezed my arm pretty hard on stage and here's why. But yeah, it was kind of a funny story. So, but I was like so excited because I'm like, he changed my life, just seeing his video and talking about funnels. That played such a huge part in my success is learning how to sell and how to market. I listen any chance I get. I listen to Russell Brunson just on his podcast, or I listen to just his Instagram, just the little nuggets that he drops there. I'm like, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. That's the next one. So I've gotten so many great ideas from him. So getting to meet
Yeah.
him in person was pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be a bucket list item for me for sure.
Yeah, it was so crazy. I was like, whoa, I talked to him. That was so cool.
And now he's writing the foreword in your book.
It's
What
crazy.
other crazy, like, I don't know, dream do you have that you're like, that would be really awesome if I could get there one day, so that one day when you get there, we can look back on it and be like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've always had this dream. I want to have my own oceanfront mansion or by the ocean mansion, right? So I'm a little house in Florida, but I would love to host my own retreats in my own beach house. So
Yeah.
I've said that, multiple times. We're like, oh, it'd be so cool to have our own beach house so we can like Airbnb and then we use it for our own beach retreat events because we rent houses right now. So
Yeah.
It'd be so cool. The challenge is the houses I rent now are 36 bedrooms, so that's
Yeah, I've seen your
oh
videos.
my gosh. Yeah.
And, my one day goal is to actually be able to go to one of your retreats. So
They're so fun. Yeah.
The videos make them look like so much fun, and one day I'll be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're still doing them when I can afford it. So
Yeah, I love them. They're so fun. We have so much fun at them. The next one's sold out. It's on a wait list, and then the next one in October is almost sold out. So I'm gonna need to add more. That's what happens is they sell out, and then I'm like, so which is a good problem to have. So
it absolutely is.
But yeah, you would love it. It's all your people in the room, just entrepreneurs. And I seem to attract like quirky, fun people. So like, maybe because I'm a little like, whoa, but I attract like fun people. So even like the doctors that are there, I'm like, whoa, there's an ER doctor at this one and a top lawyer. But they're like, no, we're the goofy ones. Like everyone is like a little bit goofy and fun and really joy filled, right? And like very uplifting and just so supportive. So it's a pretty cool, it's a cool group. Definitely. Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm excited. What advice would you give to someone wanting to market their new business, but they have a very little budget?
Yeah, I think we're in the coolest time ever where you can market your business for free using social media. And I love to listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he'll say, what are you losing your mind? Like right now, it's free. It is free for you to make video. What is wrong with you? Why are you not showing up? But he makes such a good point that like, my gosh, imagine if we just actually showed up and promoted our thing, right? And some businesses do it so well. Like they just show up and they make funny videos or they have their different styles. But the more that you show up, the more people you reach. And every single day, I have someone that'll send me a message and they'll say, I'm so glad I found you. And I'm like, oh, cool. How'd you find me? Okay, I gotta do more of that. Like, I gotta be in my stories. I gotta be here. Like, and while also trying to run your life. So it's definitely something you have to put in the forefront of like, okay, I need to make sure I make that video today, which I can't say I'm like perfect about every single day posting on Instagram or on YouTube, but I try to be aware of like posting and showing up as much as possible because that's how people find you.
Yeah, that's probably good to remember.
Yeah. It's just so much free advertising now with social media. And I love a YouTube channel for anybody that really wants to grow. YouTube is owned by Google, so when you make a YouTube video and you title it something people are searching for, just go and find the top performing YouTube videos. My buddy who has 600,000 followers in the crafting space, this is what he taught. He learned from another top YouTuber. He paid him a bunch of money to learn this. But he said, make sure you find top performing titles from other creators in your space. So like, let's say you're doing something about dieting and it's like the top 3 juices you should drink every day to lose weight, right? If that video, if you already see that online, and it's already gotten like 1 million or 2 million views, and the title was the top 3 juices you should drink every day to lose weight, then yours could be the top 4 juices you should drink every day to lose weight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a little change, right? But what'll happen is over time, your video will rank right next to that person's. So they go from that video to your video, or they go to your video first because it's 4 versus 3. Mm-hmm. So it's like totally a strategy, but you can absolutely crush YouTube. I have a ton of students that are crushing YouTube just following that strategy. Put a good thumbnail on it and boom, it's amazing.
Yeah. That's a good way to grow my YouTube. I have a YouTube channel too, so.
Yeah, so good.
But consistency is hard. Do you have any tips for consistency?
Yeah.
Just in anything in your business.
Yeah, I would say like, I would agree with you that consistency is hard. So it's like, how do we make these videos? So I have a friend who literally makes videos every Tuesday, right? So instead of sweating about videos like all week, there's a little window that he works in. It's from 12 to 3. Where he films all his videos. His videographer comes over. He does this whole thing. I don't have a videographer. I could, but I just film my own with my phone. I'm pretty simple. I have my little Movo microphone, right? But I just try to, I have a small goal in my brain of like, I want to keep a few stories running every day on Instagram, and they go to Facebook too. I want to try to get 1 reel out per day, and I want to try to release something on YouTube every week. In a perfect world, and if I was better, I've been a little bad about this, but posting a long form YouTube video once a week can change your life. Like that's how I started, was just on YouTube. Yeah. And so, but I always, for me, I say focus on one platform first before you then go to another platform, because they have their own nuances and they take time. And so I personally started on YouTube to start. And I built that to 50,000 followers. And then I kind of like, now I'm on Instagram. I've grown that to 50,000 followers, but But in that time, I've lost paying attention to YouTube as much, right? And so
Yeah.
it's interesting where you can like kind of get stuck in a platform. So I always recommend pick one and like build it to 100,000 before you go to the next one. You could build $1 million business just on one platform. You don't have to be on every platform. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have an employee or anything that helps you with your social media?
No, I don't have anyone that helps. I mean, my VA will take old stuff and repurpose it. But other than that, I wouldn't say we have this really great system, which is potentially something I could add to the mix to get it humming a little bit
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Totally. What does a typical workday look like for you?
Yeah, so I usually get up about 8:30. No, 8:15. I don't wake up. Some people are like 6 o'clock people. I'm not really that kind of
I'm a
girl.
5 a.m. person
You
now.
are.
Never used to be.
That's amazing. Yeah, I would love to be that, but then I have to go to bed at like, what, 8 or 9?
I go to bed about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. Which I guess if I was getting up early, I would do that. But yeah, so I get up around 8, 8:15, and then get my daughter off to school. I'm home by 9. And then from 9 to 11 is kind of my time, right? So I might do my workout. I might go grocery shopping. And then I have to get ready for like video if I'm going to be on video. So usually I have all my makeup and I'm ready to go by 11. And then from 11 to 3, I try to crank out as much work as I can. That's my best energy time, right? So I pay attention to my energy. My best energy is from 11 to 3 every day. So I try to film videos in that window. I have structured it so that Monday, Thursday, Friday are my video days, right? Or creative days where I'm creating a new course or something. Tuesday and Wednesday are my client facing days where any clients I work with one-on-one or my group coaching packages, then I hop on calls with them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So it's great because it's kind of like different brains for different days. I find that when I'm giving people advice and answering their questions about their business, it takes some of my creativity away where I'm like, I can't even think about what I was going to do because I'm so thinking about their business. So I keep mine for a different day and it works out really well.
That's really good planning tip.
Yeah.
What are some like must-have tools that like you're like my business would survive without these tools or apps?
Yeah. So I would say Trello we use quite a bit for keeping track of all of my students in my elite program. I have my year-long coaching program has almost 1,400 students. There's a lot of people in there. Yeah. So just to keep notes and keep track of everybody when I'm talking to them, that is so huge. So Trello is huge. When it comes to video editing, I love InShot as a little app that you can make videos on. And I love Facetune Video that allows you to make your face look a little softer, make the wrinkles go away. Facetune Video is great. So I use that those are my two kind of editing programs that I use. And when I film all my digital courses, I film it in a program called StreamYard. StreamYard is great. It's just a very simple to use platform that looks pretty. I can make my background match my frame and like do all this cool stuff to it. So I love StreamYard for filming my digital courses. And then I love this microphone, a little bit more of an investment. I had a Blue Yeti for many years, but I upgraded
because
yeah, and that's a great microphone. It's all I needed I probably still could have that, but this one just gives a little bit of a podcast noise to it, and what's cool about it, this thing will last forever. When I saw a guy talk about it, he's like, I've had mine for 30 years. I'm like, holy cow, that thing's amazing. But mine broke twice. It like fell over and the kids broke it or whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, or just stopped working. It was weird, but I sent it in. They just sent me a brand new one. Like just no questions. Like, oh, here's a new one. I'm like, holy cow. So it is super heavy duty, but makes really crisp audio, which I love that. So it's like, if you want to instantly boost your credibility, just have really good audio. Just literally, I mean, you can look at someone who's like kind of a hot mess, but they sound good. And you're like, well, this person seems like a big deal. Okay, who is this? So crisp audio is really, really important. So I love this microphone. And then when I'm traveling, I love this microphone. I know you asked about programs, but these are my favorite little baby microphones. They're so cute.
Aw.
So they just plug right into your phone. You plug this little adapter in, like right there. And then you got this, and you've got good audio no matter where you are. So
yeah, I have a similar one, so they're so fun.
So fun. So yeah, those are my main programs, and I use ClickFunnels for my sales software, and that's where I sell all my stuff in ClickFunnels.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't want to waste too much more of your time here, but do you know of any other successful women entrepreneurs who might want to be on the podcast?
I know a lot. They're in my elite program. One of my students just hit $1 million a year. She's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, so fun. She helps regular students get into Ivy League colleges.
Oh, that's definitely unique.
Yeah, yeah. So I work with a lot of different entrepreneurs. One of my students, Lucy, helps people in leadership. She just hit her first $60,000 month. She works with colleges in leadership. There's a nail tech in my program. Did $101,000 in a weekend, which was so fun.
Whoa.
Yeah, she teaches people she sells nail products, but also sells nail courses and hosts retreats. Yeah. I could go on and on and on with stories. We have a subscription box lady sells mystery subscription boxes, and she's doing $60,000 months.
Wow.
A bookkeeper teaches other bookkeepers, like on and on and on. I've got so many people, top realtors, top doctors. So I can connect you with lots of fun people.
I would love, yeah, anybody who would want to be on the podcast. I'm all about it. I'm having fun, and I want to share people's stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm connected to some really sharp people, so I could definitely get you connected.
That would be amazing. Before we get off here, do you have any questions for me or anything else that you would like to share with the group?
Well, I'd love to know how I can promote this for you. Do you want me to, when it comes out, I'd love to share it out to everybody.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Spread the word.
Inspired me a lot in everything I do. Even like my office is, the pink theme. Like,
it's so pretty.
It just resonates from you, and like, you always love to give prizes, and so like in the things that I'm doing, I'm like, all right, how can I incorporate giving out prizes? And like the people in my group, it's not so big, but I've got people from all over the country. I'm like, how am I going to mail them prizes? Because like, what do you do when you have to have people who win prizes but they're not local?
Yeah, so I have a Rolo printer that sits right on my desk here.
Yeah,
so it's very easy for me to print, right? And then I get the labels just print out like this. Literally.
Do you ship internationally though?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah, so these are just labels of something I've got to ship out later.
Yeah.
We do ship international. It's expensive, though.
Yeah.
I sometimes $80 to ship a binder internationally. Oof. So, yeah.
But do you ever ship prizes internationally?
I have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's someone international wins. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's something that's kind of holding me back. I'm like, would it just be easier to like...
You could put a limit on it. You could
purchase
just say
them an Amazon gift card or something.
Yeah, I have before gone on like Etsy International and just shipped it direct from Etsy to them if it's not something in particular. But you can also put a limit on it and just say if you're out of the U.S., then you just have to pay the shipping fee if you win.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing to say.
Yeah, so then it's just like fair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, because it's expensive depending on the country. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, what kind of new things do you have upcoming or in the works, or maybe something that you just released that you're promoting right now?
Yeah. So next week, December 16th through the 18th, I have Cashflow on camera, but this might air after that. But cashflowoncamera.com teaches people how to make better videos and then make a profit from them. And that's something we hold. We do live events every so often about that. So that's the next one that's coming up. And then my book, You Are a $1 Million Brand, will be launching very soon, which I'm excited about. So I don't have an exact date yet, but I'm excited for that to come out.
I'm excited for you too.
Thank you. Very excited.
All right. Well, I think I will let you go ahead and go so that you can go about your day and have fun with your babies. But thank you so much for having me on. Send me anything you want to link in the description, and I will hopefully talk to you again soon.
Awesome. I love you, Tiffany. Thanks for having me on, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.